Welcome to the First Alert Desk. I'm Maria Moreau, joined by my friend and colleague Rachel Polansky. Every week we do a segment where we go behind the investigation, the latest one that a member of our investigative department is working on. And this week we thought we'd do a little holiday-specific story talking about lost luggage.
Yeah.
A lot of people are traveling. It's top of mind for many of us out there. But what happens when you lose your luggage?
Right. So this was, we had a little bit of fun with this investigation here. Everybody's worst fear probably when they're flying is losing their luggage, which is why I personally carry on.
Me too.
I don't know about you. This is one of my biggest fears, and I've never actually had my luggage lost. I just worry that it's going to happen to me, that one time. So anyway, the good news is that 99.5% of the people who lose their luggage will get it back.
Right.
But what happens to that other 0.5%? Well, your luggage might end up in Alabama.
Interesting.
And I'll explain why. Let's take a quick look.
Got there, my luggage was not there.
It's not hard to find folks who have lost their luggage.
It was rough.
It's kind of a little bit to be expected.
While the majority of passengers, and we're talking 99.5%, do get their bags back,
It ended up taking 4 days to get our luggage back.
have you ever wondered about that other 0.5%? Well, those bags may end up in Scottsboro, Alabama, here at the Unclaimed Baggage Center.
When millions of people are traveling every single day, that fraction of 1% really does add up to a lot of unclaimed bags.
You're looking at the contents of those bags right here at the nearly 50,000 square foot storefront, which has become a tourist attraction to more than 1 million shoppers each year. Just like Verla Doolin from Ohio, who agreed to open an orphan suitcase in something the company calls the baggage experience.
It's like a men's long sleeve button down shirt.
Verla didn't find any emeralds or rubies, which we're told has happened before.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
She did walk away with a nice souvenir.
Wow, I love this.
Isn't that cool?
So how exactly does a lost suitcase make its way here? Well, the airline has 90 days to get the bag back to its rightful owner. If they don't, the Unclaimed Baggage Center, which has contracts with all major airlines, comes into the picture.
We have truck drivers that make the trip around the country to pick up these unclaimed bags from airlines, and we bring them back here to Scottsboro, Alabama in our operations facility, where we sort and process these suitcases.
Then, each item gets sorted into one of 3 categories: sell, donate, or recycle. We wanted to show you that part of the process too, but the Unclaimed Baggage Center wouldn't let us into their operations facility, citing proprietary reasons. And just like that secret area behind the luggage belt at the airport, there are some things we're just not allowed to see. All right, so how can you make sure that your suitcase doesn't end up in Alabama? Well, first of all, make sure that your name and contact info is on the outside and the inside. You can also throw a couple business cards in there because why not? If you're really worried, take a photo of what you're packing, and if possible, carry on. Rachel Polansky, Atlanta News First.
Carry on, definitely something that I live by, but sometimes you just can't, especially if you're a parent traveling with kids. So
Right.
Some good tips there. Let's talk a little bit about these statistics because this impacts millions of travelers.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Department of Transportation releases these statistics each month, and so we dug into that. So I'll show you, we just pulled up right here a report, and we are looking at here a 6-month range, and I know there's a lot of numbers, so I'll just tell you what we really care about. And if we scroll down here, you can see that we're looking at January to June of 2022, and there were 1,400,000 bags mishandled. And when they say mishandled, they're talking about lost, damaged, stolen, it can be anything. But what I found really interesting is when you compare it to January of June of 2021, 600,000.
Interesting.
So let's go back. So it more than doubled. So again, not totally reassuring for people traveling. But like I said before, the good news is that 99.5% of suitcases and luggage will get reunited with their owners. The airlines have 90 days to do a tracing process to try and reunite you. It's only after that period that the Unclaimed Baggage Center gets involved, and from how they explained it to me, they have contracts with all of the major airlines, and so that's how they're able to get this lost luggage. So they have truck drivers that will go to airports, take this lost luggage that hasn't been claimed, bring it back to the Unclaimed Baggage Center, and then they will process it, sort it, they'll launder it. They were telling me they have one of the biggest laundry facilities in Alabama, and then they will put it on the sales floor and sell it.
Now, let's say that you are passing through Alabama and you happen to see an item from something you believe was your lost luggage. Are there any forms of communication or claiming involved in that?
No. So that's where it's a little bit problematic. And, I ask those questions too, and they don't really like answering those questions. They say, during that 90-day window is when you're making your claims with the airline, and chances are the airline probably repaid you for your lost luggage and things along those lines. The other thing that was kind of interesting, I really wanted to see the process. They told me about these workers that are processing the lost luggage, sorting it, laundering it, and then putting it on the sales floor, but they wouldn't let us see that because of proprietary reasons. I would like to see that part of it because all we could really see is the retail floor. So I wanted to see more of the behind the scenes, which they wouldn't show us. But again, going back to the good news is that most people do get reunited with their luggage. I also think those takeaways are really important if you do have to check your bags. Everybody most people have the identification on the outside,
right.
But I didn't think about putting identification on the inside. So I really liked that tip about dropping a business card in there. Or taking photos. I think taking photos is great too, because then if you do end up losing your luggage and you want to file a claim, you can show the airline, I had this expensive purse or whatever might have been in there to really make sure that you get your money back.
That's a great tip. And I want to go back to these statistics here
Yeah.
for a moment. I'm noticing, these airlines are airlines that are popular and commonly used for travel, especially around the holiday season. So we often hear, oh, don't use this airline. They have a lot of
Right.
lost bags. But you can see it's not just a particular airline. This is an issue that can affect any traveler.
I'm really glad that you brought that up because you're right. It's not just the budget airlines. A lot of people will, say Frontier, Allegiant, these are budget airlines. But yeah, you can see across the board here that this is an issue that affects Allegiant, Frontier, Southwest, Spirit, Delta, United, you name them, they're on this list. And if you look at the percentages, there's not, none of them really stand out more than the others. None of them are even over 1%.
Right. And another thing for travelers to keep in mind, especially for those that are going to be taking luggage along with that identification, is just to know what your airline's process is for going through the reclaiming of the bag or
Yeah.
identifying your lost bag is ahead of your travels. It kind of gives you some peace of mind. If anything happens, the protocol and the procedures of that airline.
Yeah, and to that point, I did reach out to all of the major domestic airlines and I asked them for their policies and procedures. And, I put that on our website as well so people can link over there. But for the most part, they say just contact them immediately. That's really the most important thing and take pictures of everything and document everything. So that's where, I've had issues flying too, and I'll make sure I send an email. And that's the same, if you end up getting delayed or canceled, a lot of times you can get some of your money back.
Right.
But you need to document everything. Just the last time I was traveling, I won't name the airline, but I was delayed, and then canceled.
Oh, no.
It was very frustrating, and I was in New York, and I had to take an Uber to my parents' house, which was like $200, and I sent a receipt to the airline, and I was able to get reimbursed.
That's very good news.
So
any holiday travels coming up for you?
I am flying out today.
Oh,
I know, I'm
are
very
you bringing a
excited.
bag?
I am carrying on my bag. Actually, the bag you saw me packing in that video
is actually the bag I'm bringing, and I was getting ahead on my packing.
See, we're doing multitasking
Yes,
here, being very
exactly.
efficient. Rachel, I want to thank you so much. I know you do a number of investigations, especially here in Georgia and in the community. I want to make sure that if you have an investigation or something you would like Rachel and the rest of the team to look into, that they can find you. Where are you at?
Yeah, so I am on all of the social media platforms. I'm Rachel Polansky. On our website too, we can even click to that really quick. You can even scroll down, and we always have this jot form. If there's something you would like Atlanta News First to dig into, fill out this submission form, and that will go directly to my inbox. And let me pull it up here. That will go directly to our inbox, and we will get back to you. And you can also email me directly. I'm rachel.polansky@wanf.com. And I really do read all of the emails, and that's how I get a lot of my story ideas.
No, I won't be traveling, but for those of you that are, let us know in the comments below. Share your tips if you found some travel tips. You know, a lot of us are in the same boat, visiting family, loved ones, friends, so we can all use some good advice before we hit the road.
Yes, and get there early. I'm going to be getting there at least 2 hours early, and I'm hoping that's enough.
All right, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving,
holidays.
everybody.